What's up, Wall fans, Common Sensors, and of course, Brewery fans? That's right, it is I, the one and only Sean O'Rourke, coming at you with yet another Go Tell It to the Brewery beer review. I'm super excited about this particular beer. I know I say that a lot, but there's a reason I'm really excited about this one, and that's because it's another San Diego independent craft brewery. And on top of that, I have a lot of friends in San Diego that have just been obsessed with this brewery for a little while now. And unfortunately, for a while, they weren't making their way up to the Los Angeles area. They were only in San Diego. And now, they actually are making their way a little bit north to the Los Angeles area. I was able to get my hands on some this week here, right in Highland Park, California. I was able to locate some. So even if you're not in San Diego, you might be able to get your hands on some. I think they're kind of expanding a little more, as all the craft breweries do, and expand their distribution and everything else. But I know you can find it at least in Los Angeles, and of course in San Diego, because that's where they're from. And that particular brewery I'm talking about would be Thorn Brewing Company. Thorn Brewing Company. And as you can see, the particular beer that we're talking about today would be Rock the Pale Ale. You can see that cool little Thorn Brewing Company logo. They put a lot of work into the design of their cans, and like, you know, if you watch Go Tell It to the Brewery beer reviews, I always appreciate that. Not because it makes the beer taste better, but because it shows that they have some pride in their craft, that they're putting time into detail, not only on the taste of the beer and the product itself, but also what it's packaged in those cans. And they do not disappoint with Thorn Brewing and what they're putting on their cans. And of course, what's more important is the beer inside. And that does not disappoint either. This Rock the Pale Ale is definitely a West Coast style pale ale. Not IPA, pale ale. Similar to like a Sierra Nevada, but it's a craft beer. So it's got a little more complexity to it, I would say. But it's right up there with, as far as flavor and kind of taste and speed, of a California pale ale. Think of a Sierra Nevada, something that's just real familiar to everybody. Really, there's plenty of other pale ales out there that it compares to, but just to make it easy on everyone, Sierra Nevada is just kind of a West Coast California pale ale, and this one is kind of in that same realm. But of course, like I said, it's a craft beer. It's got a little more complexity to it, a little more flavor, I guess you could say. And interestingly enough, I'm enjoying it, but it not only, because it's a pale ale, so not only is it not quite as hoppy as an IPA that you're going to find out of a lot of craft breweries, especially in San Diego. Like, I get into debates with people about this all the time. I'm like, no. Yes, I know IPA, India, no. The hop revolution, San Diego. You got to credit San Diego with that one. Stone and so many of the others, Green Flash, that really were just throwing hops and making IPAs and West Coast IPAs and West Coast Pale Ales and California Pale Ales. And Thorn has kept that tradition alive with this Rock the Pale Ale. And of course, because it's not an IPA, it's only sitting at 5.3%. 5.3% alcohol, so it's not as strong. You can maybe drink a few more of these, maybe start drinking them, you know, in the middle of the day as opposed to like 5 o'clock. I say drink whatever you want. But it is not as high alcohol content, but still has the flavor that you're going to get with a lot of those beers. The other interesting thing I want to talk about with Thorn Brewing Company is, if you're familiar with Southern California, especially the San Diego area, I found it very interesting where Thorn Brewing got their start. And that would be North Park. North Park, which is a part of San Diego. If you're familiar with it, you know where it is and everything. And there was a time many, many years ago when I was growing up in San Diego, as a teenager in San Diego, and literally going to high school in North Park was not an area you wanted to hang out. It just wasn't. It was not a safe area. There wasn't a lot going on. If you were in that area at night on a Saturday night, you were probably getting into trouble. Like, and not the kind of like, oh yeah, you know, high school kids getting in. No. You were getting in real trouble. Like, you were trying to find a guy out on the corner that was getting you into some real trouble. Not, you know, just having a few beers or whatever. However, it has really changed over the years. Years and years ago, a friend of mine took me there and was like, we're really going to North Park? And it has turned into this little hipster beer mecca. You got breweries down there, you've got cool tasting rooms, and all kinds of other stuff. And it's interesting because we see how things kind of change, evolve, and how really things moving into a certain area can really improve that area. I deal with the same thing here in Los Angeles, living in Highland Park. Even in the 5 years that I've lived in Highland Park, I've seen it change just exponentially. And this is something that they've seen down there in North Park. So if you're from San Diego or you're familiar with San Diego, feel free to head on out to North Park. Check out Thorn Street Brewing. They do have some other breweries, tasting rooms open in the San Diego area, but their original one in North Park, check them out. Check out some of the other cool bars, you know, and just enjoy what is the hipster mecca that apparently is now North Park. Yeah, hang out there. We didn't when I was a teenager, I can tell you. Most importantly, get out, get yourself a little Thorn Street Brewing. They got a lot of tasty brews. This is the first one I've had, the Rock the Pale Ale. Definitely fits the bill as far as tastiness and that West Coast style. So check them out. Check them out. If you're in the LA area, I know there's some places you can get them, and they're going to continue expanding. I'm sure they're going to continue expanding because they're uber popular. In fact, I read one of those articles that apparently the Hollywood elites now are clamoring for the Thorn Street beer, which means it'll probably be on one of those reality shows, and then it's going to blow up and you'll be able to get it in like New York. You know, who knows? You know. Anyway, enjoy that Thorn Street Brewing, Wall fans, Common Sensors, and Brewery fans. And remember, no matter what you drink, no matter where you're drinking, no matter who you're drinking with, and no matter why it is you're drinking, always drink with common sense.